Hello everyone and welcome to this video in which we are gonna comment on a lap around TeamSport in Evermouth, and I have, as you can see, a guest for this video. Hello Oliver.
Hello.
So Oliver Bayani is my colleague in the videos of the Formula One Hot News and the weekly videos that we film every Monday on Facebook live stream. But he's also a super quick driver, super quick go-kart racer. Yeah. Very modest as well. But he's one of the best around TeamSport. Evermouth, actually, he held the record for a while. The record right now is slightly faster, but his lap that we're going to watch in a few seconds is very representative. So he can give you some tips and hints on how to go faster and how to get the best racing line. So are you ready, Oliver?
Yeah, I'm ready. So this is when it was during a 6-hour endurance race. So it was, track was warm, tyres were warm. It was very, very grippy. So this is probably the grippiest the track has been when I've driven on it. Mm-hmm. But obviously, what I'm about to say changes slightly depending on the track conditions. So here's the start-finish line. You want to keep it to slightly to the right. Should be easy flat, this one. The only thing you need to watch out for here is if you pause it now, is the pillar on the right. So there's a tyre, the tyre wall sort of goes around it, so it sticks out a little bit there. And if you hit that, well, you hit it hard. You can't gently hit it really, because it just sticks out a little bit. And if you're sliding and you hit it with the back of the cart, it will throw the front of the cart into the barrier afterwards, and it ruins the line for the next couple of corners. So that's the one thing you need to be aware of. Then going into this S section, you don't actually brake too much. You kind of throw it in and let the slide slow you down. There is tons of grip in this section. So when you go sideways,
so you just lift a little bit, so the cart slides slightly.
Yeah, and you just let the slide slow you down. So you barely need to use the brakes in this section when it's grippy, because it's where the old track used to run across. So there's so much rubber on this part of the track, and even though it's been 3 years since they changed the track layout, it's still tons of grip there. And you ignore the first apex, and then make sure you get it turned into the second apex, and you want to clip that tyre barrier and not let it run wide. So keep it slightly to the left to get a good run out. Clip the apex and do not let it run wide, because if you let it run wide, you have all the dust on the left and you have to turn so much to avoid the tyre barrier directly in front.
So you want to avoid this whole area.
Yeah. So you want to make the exit as straight as possible. So then avoid that tyre barrier, obviously. And then get as far over to the left as possible. And then here is all about the exit this corner. So stamp on the brake, back on the throttle now. So before you reach the apex, you're on the throttle, and then you get maximum momentum up the ramp, and let it run all the way out to the barrier.
So it's difficult to hold the momentum there, and especially when the track is not grippy. But as you saw, Ollie held the steering wheel as straight as possible, so that keeps the momentum high.
And then this corner here is not corner. You completely ignore the apex. It doesn't exist. And there is a white dot on the track. Your aim is to drive directly over it.
The one I'm pointing with the mouse.
Yes. You want to make this double right as one turn. So if you watch my steering input, I keep it about the same the whole way through. Maybe turn a little bit more for the second part, but keep it all the way and then run it right out to the barrier. You want to clip the barrier on the exit, hug it as you go along, and then this is a great fun corner. You throw in the cart, stamp on the brake very briefly, and then let the slide turn the cart, and you're on the throttle way before the apex.
Yeah, so right after tapping the brakes, you get back to the gas immediately after.
Yeah. And then you do not let it run wide unless you want to go for an overtake. So keep it to the middle of the track. Slight lift when you go to turn right, just to get the rotation of the kart.
Saw that, yeah.
And then clip the tyre barrier. That tyre barrier moves, so you can hit it a bit harder than most other tyre barriers. It's a little bit of give to it. So right out to the outside barrier, flat out down here, still flat out, still flat out, still flat out, and this is where it gets a bit interesting. So I'm still flat out, now I'm on the brakes.
Right now, when reaching the first apex, you slam the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, and on this particular lap, I get a ton of understeer between these two corners. So about here, I suddenly get a load of understeer, and I'm juggling the throttle trying to kill that understeer. Get the apex.
I'm gonna see that section again at normal speed because it's interesting to see the jiggle of the 2 feet and trying to correct the oversteer. So brake there.
It's trying to get it to slide to try and get rid of the understeer. And on the exit here, there's a part of the tyre barrier that's so on the left side you have sort of, I'm trying to work out a bit how to explain it. So it's not so sharp. You want to run it right out to where it sort of goes along with the track, if that makes sense.
So
if you go back a bit more, so the tyre barrier at front, so it curves around where your pit exit is, and you want to aim for it where your mouse is there. Any wider than that, and you have to turn, well, you're going to hit the barrier.
And ruin the lap.
Yeah, and you would lose so much momentum. So you want to get it perfectly lined up with the tyre barrier on the exit.
So basically where this black line is on the ground.
So if you look straight at front of where the camera view is, you see it straight, the tyre barrier, where it curves around. Any more to the left, and you have to turn far more to avoid it, and you lose momentum. So lined up perfectly and just skimming the barrier and following it around, and then flat out straight to towards the right side, and that's a lap of TeamSport Bristol.
So that was a lap around TeamSport Avonmouth in Bristol. A super lap, a super quick lap. And of course, don't hesitate to leave any comments, questions in the video below, and either me or Oliver will try to respond as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And so far, let's see you in the next video.
Yeah, see you in the next video.
Thank you, Oliver. Bye-bye.
Bye.